We know that India is keeping high alert in border areas as China goes ahead with its territorial expansion ambitions and plans. Now, a recent report says that India has decided to deploy troops from the Central Armed Police Forces to secure the strategically important Siliguri Corridor, also referred to as Chicken Neck. This corridor connects northeastern states with the rest of the country. Sources in the defense and security establishment said the troops will be deployed on the entire stretch of the corridor during peacetime as it has been marked as vulnerable areas and vulnerable points. In this direction, a decision has been taken and further discussions are underway. Initially, 3 border guarding forces, that is, Border Security Force, Indo-Tibetan Border Police, and Sashastra Seema Bal, will be deployed at the identified vulnerable areas and vulnerable points, the sources added. It has been learned that the ongoing border standoff between India and China along the line of actual control, the construction of dual-use border villages by China in Bhutan's borders, and the beginning of China-Bhutan boundary talks to resolve their long-standing border dispute have prompted the Indian side to think of deploying troops from Central Armed Police Forces, according to a report by Indian Defense News. Considered geostrategically important for India, the Siliguri Corridor is a narrow stretch of land in West Bengal and it is just 20 to 22 kilometers wide at its narrowest. It borders Nepal, Bangladesh and Bhutan. After years of salami slicing or taking over territory in a very gradual manner along the border with Bhutan, China has started engaging the tiny nation in negotiations over the settlement of the boundary. With an intention to isolate India from Bhutan's defense and diplomatic affairs, China wants to attract Bhutan to its side. With this intention, in 1996, China had offered Bhutan a package deal that included giving up claims on 495 square kilometer area in the central sector in exchange for 269 square kilometer in the northwest, that is adjacent to Chumbi Valley, including Doklam, Sinchulumpa, Dhamana and Shakato. However, Bhutan had then rejected the offer after India's persuasion. China wants control over the Jampheri Ridge and the Doklam area to enlarge its narrow and strategic Chumbi Valley, which would allow China unhindered mobilization and more access routes in the event of military conflict with India. As of now, China has enhanced its connectivity in the deep areas of the Chumbi Valley in the Tibet Autonomous Region, which is close to Siliguri on the Indian side. Delving into the security and defense of the vulnerable Siliguri Corridor, the then Eastern Army Commander and now Indian Army Chief General Manoj Pandey had in 2021 said, "We are looking at a whole-of-nation approach, which not only includes the armed forces but also the administrations of states around the Siliguri Corridor and central agencies. The effort is to work together to deal with this threat in normal times along with the hybrid threat when it manifests and during conflict conditions." He further said that a joint coordinating center under the Army has proved to be effective to coordinate the actions of all agencies that work in the region. During the 2017 Doklam standoff, the Chinese tried to construct roads in the Bhutanese territory but were objected to by the Indian troops. The standoff, which lasted for 73 days, ended only after Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping had a telephonic conversation. The Chinese were trying to change the tri-junction to Gamochen, but the attempts were thwarted by the Indian Army. In the last year and a half, the Indian security forces have conducted several exercises in areas close to this corridor to assess the joint operational preparedness and synergy between them in a networked environment. Among the major exercises included Trishakti Prahar and Vayu Prahar. The Indian Army, the Indian Air Force and the Central Armed Police Forces took part in these exercises.